So my name is Andrea, Andrea Jenkins, and it's interesting because I'm also in the anthology that Soon Young is editing and anthologizing, um, and we initially thought it was the title was something like "The Price We Pay" or something, a peculiar price, right? And so the title has shifted, but it's interesting. I got a note from the editor, and I don't know if you guys got your edits back this week, but she was here today, and I'm like, there's this one thing that I'm really strongly married to. Like everything else is good, but um, it's a part of this poem, and it lists out all of these different places where the narrator has been telling these stories, and it's challenging and it's difficult and it's hard to say them all. And her idea was like it's not very poetic, and you can maybe just say 18 places, and from the White House to the blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, I want it to be hard and difficult and challenging, because that's the lives of trans people, right? It's hard, it's difficult, it's challenging, and people don't want to deal with it. They want you to make it comfortable for them, and I'm just not ready to do that. Um, the piece is called 18. It starts with a quote by Laverne Cox. Loving a trans woman of color is a revolutionary act. 18 hours since her last meal. Her head is spinning with desperation. Hypersexualized body looks good, but the 5 o'clock shadow is 9 hours over the limit, and her wig is beginning to look matted. She was 18 when she left home. College was life on the streets. The school day was long, seemed like it never ended. Many nights spent on sticky tricks sofas. Days spent as a social activist, marching, lobbying, organizing. 18 trans women of color gathering for an outpouring of self-love. Sisters doing it for themselves. Walking around the streets of Bangkok, Thailand, 18 hours before a life-altering surgery. Body didn't evolve the way she dreamed of in her tiny bed inside a shared bedroom that proved to be unsafe. Her mind flashed back to that birth certificate, assigned male at birth, socialized in a patriarchal world, yet unable to fully relate to the constant challenge of trying to live her truth in this upside-down reality. 18 times she threw out all of her women's clothing, known in the community as the purge, ridding oneself of all the reminders of the transgressions she's contemplated by the day, annually, for as long as she could remember. Doctors prescribe birth control pills for women for approximately 18 days a month. But some trans women take estrogen every day. The desired effects never really come, though. Still, she remains faithful to the goddess. 18 candles on Transgender Day of Remembrance. 18 trans women of color murdered, and not always by those who hate them, but by men who have made love and shared love, but want to keep those secrets in the dark. Shout out to 18 trans sisters out there doing the damn thing. Cherno Biko, Loris Ashley Hunter, Ariana Lent, Cecilia Chung, Valerie Spencer, Ashley Love, Raina Gossett, Erica Carter, Monica Roberts, Miss Major, Janet Mock, Laverne Cox, Tracy McDaniel, Angelica Ross, Cece McDonald, Paradise Lachey, Rahima Martinez, June Remus. It's been 18 years since this journey began, a long way from the days of fear and loathing. And although her life may seem charmed to outsiders, she knows that her trans brothers and trans sisters are struggling out there. So she tells their story everywhere she is invited. The Mayo Clinic, the Program in Human Sexuality, All Gender Health Seminars, the Women's Foundation, Ramsey County, the Human Rights Campaign Dinner, the Center for Disease Control, McAllister College, the Arcus Foundation, the University of Minnesota Medical School, Hamlin University, the Minnesota Transgender Health Coalition, Metropolitan State University, Trans Ohio, the Minneapolis Urban League, HRSA, the Health Resources and Service Administration, the Task Force on Creating Change Conference, and everywhere else she goes. She knows that visibility is the key to changing the narrative that shapes this poem. The tables are rapidly turning. Attention is being paid. Time magazine put a trans woman of color on the cover and said the transgender movement was at the tipping point, America's next civil rights frontier. And while that is true, 18 trans women of color will likely be arrested tonight, processed and locked up with the male population or placed in solitary for their own protection, becoming more victims to the prison industrial complex that thrives on poor black bodies to fuel the monetization of black labor. How does she get through this madness? She remembers those 18 hours of hunger, those 18 years of struggle, the 18 trans sisters showing each other love. She remembers the 18 hours strolling around Bangkok, the 18 times she purged, and the 18 lives honored on Trans Day of Remembrance, the 18 places where she shared their story of brilliance, resilience, and beauty. Thank you. Thank you.